Sometimes the best thing that a teacher can do to you is to teach you what not to do, and more specifically what women to avoid, because this video I'm going to break down 3 women you need to desperately avoid, and we're not going to waste any time. Also, this list was actually made by our resident host Juice of the Gin and Juice Show. The podcast available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and all free fucking platforms, and he wrote this shit, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it straight from how he wrote it, man. Number 1 is the perpetual victim. Okay, damn, my fucking screen turned off. All right, this girl, I think we've all come across. No matter the situation, no matter the argument, this kind of girl always wants to play the victim card. It doesn't even necessarily have to be in arguments with you. You can notice even in situations with her family or coworkers, she mentions to you there's never any accountability involved. These type of girls are a headache and can get you in fucked up situations because of her need to feel victimized and attacked. Do you want a false DV or Me Too in your life? Didn't think so. What's DV mean? Like rape charge? I'm just gonna guess you meant rape charge, bro. Yeah, the perpetual victim. Think about it like this. As men, we like to strap an S on our chest. There's a lot of women out there who, instead of strapping an S on the chest, they like to strap a V on their chest. Because I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Even though I lied and I cheated and I saw and I fucking lied to you, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Listen, I just want to say something real quick. When you come across a girl who has a lot of stories about how her ex was crazy, and then the ex after that was crazy, and then the ex after that was probably crazy or abused her, or whatever the case is, but yet she never seems to tell all of her bullshit, it's time to look at that girl with a bit of a squint and a bit of a skeptical look, because let's be honest, dude, a lot of chicks out here, they like to play victim, and when it comes to past relationships or past situations, they always are in the situation where everyone else seemed to do something to them, but yet they didn't do anything to them. They didn't do anything to nobody, and that type of chick is the type of chick that you want to avoid. And honestly, a lot of times they kind of reveal themselves pretty quickly. You could be on a first date and the dumb bitch starts talking about her ex and how he abused her and all this type of shit, and you're sitting there the whole time like, I don't really give a fuck, but you're telling me about it. And these type of girls, I mean, oh man, it's a headache, because here's the thing. At first, it might start with stories and them telling you other people stories and whatever the case is, but then eventually, you're gonna be the attacker. When you have an issue with something she did, she's now going to play victim. She's gonna have a meltdown and be like, oh my God, stop attacking me, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Even though I lied and I cheated and I'm full of shit, I'm a victim. All right, I'm gonna stop singing. Number 2, the I'm bored chick. The name says it all. This is the type of girl that always talks about how bored she is. Why? Because this archetype always feels the need to be stimulated. Every second of every day, either on her phone, consuming media, or on IG. Of course, thumb scrolling, bitch. You're gonna get thumb cancer scrolling so goddamn much. All right. When she's not clubbing every weekend or drinking / doing drugs regularly, she seeks out a high-value popping dude to entertain her and fill that boredom void by having a boo that she can look towards to lead her aimless existence. Damn, you kind of went in on this one, man. Fuck. Also, you notice a lot of these types of chicks, these are the type of chicks where they never refer to their boyfriend as like their actual name. They're always like, my boyfriend, my boyfriend, my boyfriend. It's like the dude isn't even a real person. He's just like a title. Let's continue. This isn't Now, don't be the dude who has to babysit this ADHD bozo. This isn't to say don't date chicks who can have a good time, but more so the ones who feel like a day without stimulation or an event is a failure. The ones who can't just enjoy some silence together just chilling out, or have an open-ended conversation on theoretical, philosophical shit for a while without checking on her social. With no passion or goals she's building on, she's always going to look for you to validate her by being a barnacle on your boat of success. It's kind of a funny way to put that. It's barnacle head bitches. Truthfully, man, This is the type, I'm gonna be honest though, when you go on Facebook and shit, you see a lot of these types of chicks who type shit like I'm bored or whatever the case is, and you tend to look at their hobbies, you tend to look at the things that they do, and a lot of times it is a lot of entertainment, it is a lot of stimulation. I think of it like this: we live in a yin and yang universe, you know, sun and moon and whatever. We are creators and we're also consumers. All of us consume, but all of us can create as well. And there's a different feeling. Like, for example, when you work on a project, there's a certain feeling. It's a good feeling, but it's not the feeling that you would get when you're like being entertained. It's like a gratification. It's kind of it's like you feel this air of liftingness, of like this pride. But at the same time, when you are done creating and you take that time at the end of the day to just kind of enjoy, maybe you enjoy something like I love boxing, so I might see a fucking super awesome fight with a ton of action. It feels great. I'm consuming entertainment, but yet at the same time, there's a balance. If I spent all day watching boxing fights or playing video games, eventually you start to feel like a cheap whore. I know we've all gone through it. If you're watching this right now, especially if you're in my generation, you were born in the 90s, a lot of us, we grew up on video games, we grew up on the computer and whatever, and it's very easy for us to just get sucked into a whole process of playing video games or doing this, and just think about the feeling that gives you. It feels good, but then after a while, it's almost like your dopamine receptors are blown out, and these types of chicks are very cancerous, because you have to think about it like this. As a man, right, you're the leader, right? You are the giver. You are the plus to their negative. You are the active to their passive. Like girls, often they expect the guy to approach them or to initiate the sex or to initiate the date or to plan the date. So when you have a chick who's not only passive by nature, a receiver by nature, but now she's also just doubling down on that and not ever producing, like she's just constantly taking, it's like she's a fucking virus. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. Like those type of chicks, man, and you can see it, man. You can see it by their habits. You can see it by the way they move. And ultimately, man, I know you're in a position, you might be in a position where you're like in college and you're like, hey, man, I mean, that's how everyone is. But listen, dude, don't ignore the signs, because those signs are there for a reason. I'm not just making this video for my own goddamn sake. This shit is things, these are chicks that we've dealt with over and over and over again in our lives, from different archetypes, from different cultures, and ultimately there are certain things that are just consistently lame. And this is just one of them. Number 3, final, the follower. Oh man, this is a special one, near and dear to my heart, man. I'm gonna read this, bro. I've never read this before, just so everyone knows. So there might be typos, I don't know, bro. I hope you ain't set me up. These lovely ladies are only accepting of ideas that their circle of friends, family, or society as a whole accepts. You can count on this girl to feel embarrassed by you in public or around her friends and family if you're not what they deem as cool or high value in their standards, in their eyes. Yeah, that's so fucking true. That reminds me of like one of my first stories with my first girlfriend, where I was on the train. I'm on the train, and in New York, you know, there's a lot of people who get on the train, they panhandle, or they might do certain things. So on this day, a group of kids came in, and they were young kids, like maybe 10 years old or whatever. They had really busted up sneakers, and they started dancing for money, for change and whatnot, which is like a regular thing in New York City's trains or whatever. Maybe not necessarily kids that young, which is why I was like, oh shit, you know, I see them hustling, I see them doing their things, and I looked at their sneakers, and I just remember thinking like, damn, their sneakers are busted. That means these kids are dancing all fucking day on these trains. So I was immediately like, all right, I'm gonna give these kids props. After they done dancing, I started clapping. I was the only one on the train that clapped. I started clapping. The girl that I was with, who was from a bit of a nice neighborhood or whatever the case is, one of the smartest schools in the fucking country, she literally grabbed my hand to stop me as if I was embarrassing her. And that right there, that I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the first moment, because I'm gonna be honest, because I was 14, 15. I spent my whole life in the Bronx, so I was looking forward to the opportunity to meet chicks that are outside of the hood. I'm thinking that, okay, man, they're not around all this crazy shit. Maybe they'll be like these nice, pure girls or whatnot. Not pure, I wasn't that delusional, but I was thinking like she's gonna be this nice, sweet girl, but yet you see those little moments. I seen those little moments, and that was a little moment where I was just like, damn. The grass is not always greener on the other side, because that right there, that kind of really pissed me off, man. I did not like that shit whatsoever. Like, so basically, if the whole train had clapped for these kids, and then I clapped, you think she would have fucking stopped me? Of course not. Of course not. She probably would have been the first one there clapping with everybody, like, yeah. But since no one clapped and I was the only one to be on my balls, like, hey, oh man, I respect it. I clapped it. She stopped me, like, oh, you're embarrassing us. And that right there was one of the biggest turnoffs I ever experienced with a girl in my fucking life. That right there, it was like, what is that? Like, you need the whole crowd to fucking approve of something for you to do something? That right there, these types of chicks, they're not only gonna hold you back from just enjoying yourself in public, but they're also going to hold you back in life, because these are the type of chicks where, like, if you say I want to pursue some dream or pursue some shit, she might just go, are you sure? Maybe you should just go do that thing, or maybe you should just stick to that, because whatever you say might not be something that's socially popping or socially acceptable within her fucking tribe, within her social circle. And these are the type of chicks that you don't want to be around. You want to have a chick that's a rider, that can fucking be and stand on her own 2 feet and understand that you are not just this fucking follower sheep, and she herself is not also that. So I'm gonna continue. You can count on this girl to feel embarrassed by you in public or around her friends and family if you're not what they deem as cool or high value in their standards. Even if she thinks you're the shit, when you're alone, this problem comes up in those situations. But even that is just surface level. The problem with this kind of girl is that since she's always looking for approval in those areas, it means she's not an independent thinker. So if you ever want to introduce her to some more outside the box thinking, or something that means a lot to you that isn't what you call the norm, she's going to run/filter that through what her friends/family/society would think about it. No bueno, man. No NPC, shallow as a puddle bitches allowed. Yeah, you went in on this, man. And he basically said, Juice, you basically said exactly what I just said before I even got to read it, which is that when you're alone, she might think you're a shit, but as soon as you're out in the public, she's now looking for perception. She's like, oh, don't do that, you're embarrassing us, honey. When I see that type of shit, that is like a very toxic kind of relationship to be in. You need to have a chick that's gonna stand by you no matter what. Like, for example, I've seen boxing fights where I'm gonna be honest, every time I see a boxing match, I always look at the boxer's chick and I judge the fuck out of them. I'm not gonna lie, I judge them because I want to look at them and I want to see, like, are you just there for the ride because he's this poppin' fighter that's popular, or are you genuinely concerned? Like, does she have that look like, I don't want this fight to continue, or is she just like reacting to the crowd or whatever the case is? You see sometimes that the chick will be in the crowd and maybe the boxer, her you know, her husband or her boyfriend or whatever, maybe he gets knocked out and she kind of has that face like she's down, but almost like in an embarrassed kind of way because everyone in the crowd's cheering for her husband who just lost or whatever in front of everybody, when in reality you should just be worried about his health if you truly cared. But she's more worried about the perception of everything that's going around her, and that to me is a big sign of toxicity. Because think about it like this, man, in boxing people die, bro. Last week 2 fighters recently died. I mean, one of them was in the ring, one of them was Pernell Whitaker, you know, R.I.P. Sweet Pea. That was an incident outside of boxing. But the point is, when someone's in there, they're fighting for their fucking life. So if you really truly care for them, you're not gonna be worrying about the public perception of shit. And that's just one of those things. This is one of those examples, because if you have a chick like that, I'm telling you, man, she's gonna treat you like a placeholder boyfriend title. That's not what you want, man. These are the 3 chicks. Let me review this one more time, just so we don't forget, okay? Number 1 is the perpetual victim. Number 2 is the I'm bored chick who constantly seeks outside stimulation and does not have the ability to create her own fulfillment and success in life. And also 3, ultimately, the follower NPC chick, the type of chick who does not have the ability and is not like it's funny too, because like I remember, all right, so when I was a teenager, I would smoke weed. And I did a lot of drugs, man. I was just a very experimental kid, man. And I remember how, like, I would try to get chicks to smoke bud with me, and then they wouldn't be with it because I was like 16 and maybe they were in high school too. Then later on, suddenly, those chicks go off to college where everyone's smoking and lighting up on the dorm. It's like a regular thing. Now suddenly she comes back and she's trying to hang out with me, and she's like, yeah, you have weed or whatever the case. Or like she wants to smoke now. And I'm over here like, you are corny, bitch. You're corny as hell. You lame as shit. Because how is it that when it was just me you wasn't willing to do it. But now that you have all your friends doing it and they're like, hey, it's all cool and normal, now suddenly it's normal, now you feel okay to take that risk outside of the box. You can't, I personally cannot have a sheep type of chick like that, and I don't recommend you, if you're watching this, if you're Unleashed Gang, this is not for no NPC follower hoes, man, because at the end of the day, dude, these are the type of chicks that'll hold you back from the things and the dreams and the things that just are gonna pursue and just progress you in life and ultimately as a man. So with that being said, bro, thank you for watching this episode. Like, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions. So with that being said, bro, I'll see you on the next episode, pimp.